Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and I am here with Scott Melbye of Uranium Royalty Corporation. Scott, thank you for coming on the show.
Steve, it's great to be on your show. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so basically, with your company, you have a royalty on uranium miners, correct?
Yep. So Uranium Royalty Corp was founded, taken public on the TSX 5 years ago, listed on the NASDAQ a year and a half ago, really based on the royalty and streaming model that's become so successful in base and precious metals.
Yeah.
So Franco-Nevada, Wheaton Precious, Sandstorm, Royal Gold. No one had taken that model to the uranium space until we did. And it's timely because we have a uranium industry that's coming out of a really long, prolonged bear market, but now seeing probably better uranium supply and demand fundamentals that we've seen in my 40 years of doing this for a living. So billions of dollars are going to need to be invested in new mines in not just the United States, Canada, but Africa, Australia, around the world. And our company intends to be a counterparty with those miners and developers to bring production online and be contributing towards the big supply gap that we have in the world today for uranium.
Yeah, now you're the only uranium royalty company,
That's
correct?
right.
So if you want to play the uranium royalty bet, we got to go through Uranium Royalty Corp.
Absolutely, and we're as a young company, we're off to a great start. We have royalties on two of the best mines in the world, at Cigar Lake and McArthur River.
Yes.
We've got a royalty in a mine in Namibia called Langer Heinrich, which is developed by Paladin. Huge historical producer that's restarting under new economics and a really cost-cutting initiative that's really helping them launch into production early next year. We've got interest in ISR mines in the United States, that's in situ recovery. It's the lower cost, non-intrusive kind of technology. It's not conventional open pit underground mining, it's in situ mining, which is allowing US miners to be very cost competitive, first or second quartile globally. So yeah, we're off to a great start. We've made physical uranium investments. We bought 1.6 million pounds of uranium over the last 18 months at a cost of around $42. So at $50, we've got a nice capital gain, increase on that. So yeah, we're off to a great start. But the name of the game is growth. So our job number one for me and our very small team is to go out, identify those counterparties that we can come alongside with a royalty or a stream and be part of their development or restart story.
Now tell me about Cigar Lake and McArthur River, because those are two enormous ones up in Canada.
Yeah, so Cigar Lake and McArthur are the world's richest, highest grade mines, 100 times the world ore grade. We would never be able to get a royalty directly from Orano or Cameco, the operators. But we acquired from an early exploration company from the 1970s and 80s, Reserve Minerals, that was part of the original discovery of those deposits back in the day. Their principal today, Frank Melfi, is 97 years old, lives in Albuquerque. The only interest he has from those days of his time in Saskatchewan were these royalties. So we were able to buy the royalties from him. He took cash and shares in Uranium Royalty, and now we provide that exposure for our shareholders. For McArthur, it's in the form of physical uranium. We actually take payment under the royalty in physical uranium, book transfer to our account in Canada. With Cigar Lake, it's a net profit interest royalty. Will be bigger than the McArthur River royalty interest, but it being a net profit interest, we still have a couple years to pay out on that. But between the two of them could be, I would say, $5-6 million a year under a steady $60+ uranium price, which we're easily heading to.
Yeah, if you ask Rick Rule, he thinks we're going to 80 or 90.
Yeah,
so
I can give you scenarios that are not crazy where it's even higher than that, and it all comes down to supply
They usually
gap.
overshoot anyway.
And geopolitical. If the world's largest supplier, Kazatomprom in Kazakhstan, can't get material to the West and can only supply into Russia and China, that puts a real stress on an already tight market in the United States, in Canada, Europe, and Asia.
Yeah, awesome. Now, the difference between a royalty and a stream is, like you were talking about, you take physical possession of the metal. The royalty is you're taking cash, essentially.
So for example, we would go to a developer who may need $25, $30, $50 million. We provide that financing up front to them.
Yeah.
And then in a royalty, we take a percentage of the revenue of the produced pounds. So it could be, just a percentage, 1, 2, 3% of the revenue of the pounds produced. So we get paid out.
Yeah.
Top line, not bottom line, usually. Stream is a bit different, where we may provide the same kind of upfront money, but then as they produce, we have the right to physical streams of the product, and we might even make additional payments to them at the time of production, and may share upside in terms of market upside. But both are non-dilutive ways for developers to raise capital. The advantages over debt are obvious now with high interest rates and bank covenants. We don't have those kind of restricted things, and obviously have a lower cost of capital. But even equity raises, which it may seem easy to raise capital in various markets today, but a lot of these companies have survived a very severe bear market and have pretty high share counts. So I think their shareholders are, encouraging them to look at other non-dilutive ways to raise capital to get into production.
Yeah.
So we provide that.
And one of the things that really attracted me, I first got into this, and so did my listeners, with gold, with Franco-Nevada, with Wheaton Precious Metals, and then I found out about you guys. And what I really like about it is your overhead is so small. Because, like Franco-Nevada, they have something like 25 employees and their market cap is like 26 billion or something,
Yeah.
And how many employees do you guys have?
We have like 6 employees.
6 employees?
So,
and what's your market cap?
Yeah, and we're 400 million. But the royalty industry is the highest revenue per head count of any industry in the world
that exists.
Because you don't own the mines, you don't have the big workforce, you don't have the landowning holding costs. You just have interest in other people's mines. So our company could double, triple, quadruple in size with that same core of people.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. And that's important in commodity cycles where sometimes, uranium's been very stubborn, and sometimes, the recovery's gone longer than some have hoped. We're not burning cash, in these periods. We have a very, as lean as it gets.
Minimal overhead.
Yeah.
I love it. Right on.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah,
thank you for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time.
Great, thanks.